Welcome to episode 6, Venice Beach edition.
Yeah!
Yes, Venice Beach, California, where we've been for the last week or so.
It's our field trip.
Seems longer. Field trip. This is the first official field trip of the Double Confirm show from sunny California. We're outside of steamy Singapore. My eyes are wide shut so I could focus here. What was I going to say?
Thomas is slightly hungover.
It's true.
Last night he was...
Damn it.
He had a few... what were they? Cocktails?
Old
Fashions. With Mr. Chris Tester.
Mr. Chris Tester. Sound recording master.
Shout out to Mr. Chris again.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for all the positive vibrations.
And the good advice, actually.
Yeah. Stop doing the show. Which is the advice. No, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
With his eyes.
Well, we got to work on a few things.
This is the show, man.
So what's the show about, Thomas?
Why are you asking me? What are you putting it on me for? So Mr. Mav has a lot of notes for today's show, a lot of really important things he's going to talk about. I'm building it up. I'm building it up for you. I have my notes, but first...
I've got an interesting fact.
We just start with the factoids, because this is a show about factoids. People ask, what's the show about? It's about factoids. It's about dilemmas. It's about life. It's about our lives. It's about travel.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got another factoid.
It's about internationalism. Well, let's get away from the politics.
He's not going to let me in here.
Okay, your turn.
It's episode 6. We said we'd do a minimum 6 episodes.
We said we would do at least 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's not only, and then you cut it yourself loose. No, it's like 6, so you commit to it, so you don't do 2, True. And you're like, oh man, this is hard, I'm not going to do any more. And say, no, we're going to do 6.
So what do you think? Is this the final episode?
No, definitely not. Popular opinion has said that they love it. We got 5 stars on Facebook. The 8 Ball, which I asked earlier before the show, also confirmed that we should continue the Double Confirm show. It simply said yes. I asked it.
Simply said yes.
Simply said yes.
So we're in it for the long haul. We've got a new setup today because we are in La La Land.
We're in Los Angeles.
So the reality is everything's a bit more serious. These microphones are proper serious.
These are proper microphones.
We literally have to eat them in order to hear anything.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you got for the show today, mister?
Well, we had thanks for putting me on the spot there, Thomas.
Yes.
So we're actually thinking it's about somebody you should know. What's the format?
Someone you should know.
Someone you should know.
Someone you should know. We're starting right off with it.
This is it's a new sort of...
It's a factoid.
It's a factoid we discovered last week, which blew my mind, actually.
What is it?
I mean...
I'm in the zone now.
No, you know who this is about, man.
I don't remember.
We've obviously got very divergent music tastes. Oh. But in some cases,
I know what you're talking about.
you have to accept that there are some people who are just genius.
Yes.
So
someone that everyone should know.
Everyone should know.
Some people probably do.
And he's from my continent.
Mine too.
No.
My adopted continent.
Okay.
We're all from Africa originally.
You're right.
If you go back far enough.
You're right.
That's what I mean by my continent
Completely
too.
agreed.
So who's this guy? Who's the guy
it's Fela Kuti.
Fela Kuti. Which really has nothing to do with L.A.
Oh.
Or does he?
Does, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
And that is one of the factoids. Absolute genius of a musician. African jazz musician, could you call him? But it's more than jazz. This guy's just sort of...
Afro-funk.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
It's just so good.
He's actually considered the man who started Afro-funk.
Really?
I think I don't know if he coined that expression, but yes, Afro-funk.
And I actually thought, this is crazy, but I'm so into Fela Kuti, I actually thought he was still alive. And then we had this conversation with Thomas. He's like, no, he's dead. He was around in the 60s. I'm like, whatever.
I said he was doing his thing 70s and 80s, and then he died. That was my position. But I was slightly off. It was the 90s he died, but he had stopped producing output in the 90s.
Yeah. And guess when he was born, guys? 1938.
Oh, you're on Wikipedia.
I'm on Wikipedia. Specifically 15th of October 1938. This guy saw the Second World War in Africa, man.
Exactly.
So he's a Nigerian. Obviously, he was born in Nigeria.
Yes.
And
why should we know him?
I mean,
Why should we really know him?
it's funny because
Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, because he wasn't actually that well known when he was creating some of his best music. In fact, his albums only got released in the 2000s. Let me have a quick look here on Wikipedia.
No, they were released, but they just didn't get wide distribution.
Completely agreed.
And part of the reason why is because it didn't fit into the format of the traditional radios. Like, you didn't have 3-minute songs that were, or 3-4 minute songs.
Yeah.
They're 15, 20-minute long
Masterpieces. They're absolutely brilliant. So 1938, born in Nigeria, and then he traveled half the bloody globe.
Just like us.
Can you believe it?
We have a lot in common.
In the US in 1960s.
Yeah,
Let me just get the exact date. But it was during that, the crazy Woodstock era.
Yeah.
So he was obviously influenced by all of that.
Yes.
He was also in the UK. Spent a lot of time in the UK around the Beatles time. I mean, so obviously huge influences from the Beatles and...
I think so.
Oh, dude, completely. How could you live in the UK in the 60s and not be influenced by the Beatles?
I don't know.
I mean...
I don't hear it when I listen to his music.
Really?
Really? Do you?
I don't know. There's some real funk in there, man.
Hand.
No, but there's some funk in there. There's some real funk. There's some
because the Beatles were
funk.
known for their funk.
No, but like during that time, in the 60s and the 70s in London, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's more coming from like James Brown and people like that, I suppose.
Sorry, not necessarily the Beatles themselves.
This
Yellow
guy.
Submarine.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, day tripper. Come on, man. Phelan was probably looking at those dudes going like, oh.
You're not a Beatles fan, clearly.
I got nothing against the Beatles. I got nothing against them. But I think they're
Go for it, dude. Tell us what you
what I
think.
mean is like, it's like what? It's like what they treated like gods, like these musical gods. Like, oh, they changed the face of music.
It's true,
Well,
man.
no, they stole a lot of stuff from black music, and they were able to package it, and they're pretty boys from UK.
Yeah.
And they delivered a good product and made a ton of money. But anyway, we're talking about Fela Kuti, who is superior to the Beatles in every way, shape, and form other than floppy hair. The Beatles they got that covered, the floppy hair look.
And apart from his great music, he was actually very politically active when he went back to Nigeria. So he was very critical of the government, because the government obviously, it was pretty corrupt in Nigeria.
Obviously. You like to use the word obviously.
He was very critical of them. He actually also very critical of colonialism, was very against the takeover of Africa.
Yeah, man. Colonial mentality.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
So but he also created his own almost mini
Republic. Yes.
In Lagos, in Nigeria.
That's right.
With his own harem of beautiful women, own protectional services. Actually, there was a documentary that was done. We were talking about this the other day.
Yes, there's a couple.
Forget the name of the documentary, but which speaks about the last few years of his life and how he lived there in Lagos.
Right on.
With all his people, all the sort of the violence in Lagos back in those days.
Right.
Very, very harsh, very, very difficult. But he lived like a chief, really.
Yeah.
Like the local chief.
Yeah. Great.
So anyway, that is Mr. Fela Kuti. If you haven't heard his stuff, you got to hear it. Maybe we'll play a little.
Yeah, of course we will.
A little piece.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hopefully, we won't get sued by his labels. It's just about being, paying homage to a genius.
Yeah.
A musical genius.
Who's, kind of been forgotten, so we're bringing him back.
Yeah, completely agree. And so we've been listening to Fela Kuti all week.
All week.
in Los Angeles.
I don't know why.
Of all places.
Yeah, it kind of just happened. But because as soon as you put it on, I'm like, oh, Fela, I haven't heard that in years. And it brought back all these memories, all my Fela memories.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I'm a fan.
It's funny because before we listened to Fela, I put on Drake.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Put on Drake. Drake's new album.
Yeah.
And you put Drake on first. Okay, there's some...
Drake.
It's not bad production. Like, the guy's good at what he does. I mean, he won 14 Grammys, for God's sakes. Like, so clearly he knows a little bit of what he's doing. But you put that against Fela Kuti's music...
Yeah, how many Grammys did Fela win?
Yeah, man. I don't think he won any.
0.
Did he?
Because it doesn't fit into the mold. It doesn't fit into the system. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's got to like fit into the system. We're breaking out beyond the system. With the new media.
But it's true, man. Like, I swear, like, you can just hear the richness of a Fela Kuti track compared to
True.
the stuff that Drake is shipping every week. No offense to Drake and our Canadian
That's how
friends.
it's all happened, because you're playing the Drake on the little thingy, the boomboxy thingy, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it. I mean, I understand it's good, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it derivative. I think I called something else derivative.
You did call it derivative.
No, that was another thing we were talking about.
That was Green Day.
That was Green Day.
Yeah.
This is going to be the music episode, criticizing groups.
Well, we are in LA. We may as well talk about music.
True that. But yeah, the Drake, I was like, it was okay. But, it's the kind of thing. Imagine 10 years later and you're listening to that same track. You think you're going to be connecting with it?
Bubblegum pop, man.
Bubblegum. That's what we were talking about, the bub gum. And then Fela came on. I don't know how that happened, because your Spotify or something kicked it in. And I was like, oh, now we're talking.
So good, eh?
And the grooves.
Oh, man.
The soul.
Incredible, huh? Yeah, really good.
That's when you got, that's so much heart and soul. That's the real deal.
Yeah. So anyway, somebody you should know.
Da-da. Sorry, it's a habit. That sound effect.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day. On Netflix, I was watching a documentary called The Minimalists.
The Minimalist, new show.
New show?
Documentary movie, I mean.
Yeah, like a documentary. You watched it, yeah?
Nope.
You haven't watched it?
I read the reviews and they were bad.
Yeah. And which I tend to agree. I mean, it's not the greatest show because it's not very practical, but they talk about how to minimalize your life. Like Marie Kondo or somebody who talks about like removing all sort of unnecessary things in your life. I forget who the guys are in The Minimalist. But they were doing a talk on Tuesday here in LA.
Yeah, I missed it.
We missed it as well.
Why? I wanted to see it just to go in.
But it's interesting theories.
What's the theory?
The theory is you only need like something that, like 2 T-shirts, 3 pairs of shorts, maybe 2 pairs of underwear.
True.
Food every morning.
Minimalist.
You guys should check it out. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks. Not just the reviews on Netflix, but there's some interesting theories in there. I think I'm going to subscribe to some of it. Cut down all the clutter in my life,
Of course, man.
Get rid of unnecessary garbage.
I've been doing that my whole life.
You have?
Trying to.
Yeah. What are you cutting down on?
I don't have anything left. I don't have anything left. I wish you could have seen my apartment in Brooklyn. It was like all white. You'd walk in, all the walls were white.
Yeah.
The floors were. I painted everything super clean.
Nice.
Just like one splash of color on the wall, and that's it.
Very Mondrian-y.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. Everything was just super clean because I like it like that.
Nice.
And now all that stuff, God knows what happened to it all when I moved to Singapore.
To the white paint and the
Because I had
color splash.
subleased, I kind of like subleased that apartment to some quote-unquote friends,
Whoopsie.
who then a year later try to take it from underneath me, like go directly to the landlord and try to do this. And so a typical New York thing, man. And then eventually dissipated into the ether of the universe. Some of the stuff I managed to get back, but I was living in Singapore at the time, so it's a bit hard to take a taxi to Brooklyn and pick up shit.
Yeah.
So on a couple trips I was back and I brought things, and then some stuff just disappeared. But I didn't mind. Like,
Great.
I mean, like all the kitchen stuff, all this, who
Just
knows where it is?
Let go of the garbage.
Even like photographic stuff, because I do photography. I had stuff stored away. I don't know what happened to it.
And how do you feel after that? Do you feel...
I feel fine.
Yeah, lighter, almost, yeah?
I'm not. I try not to be attached to my possessions.
In a similar vein, sorry to change tack a little bit, but you're talking about New Yorkers being a little bit aggressive, and
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how friendly people have been here in LA.
Oh yeah.
I'm digging it, man. everyone's very approachable.
All the Uber drivers you think are friendly.
Yeah, but also just the waitresses or the waiters.
Yeah.
People on the streets, generally approachable. I mean, I know it's a veneer of friendliness.
But that's the Southern California stereotype, though. I mean, it is friendly and warm, provided you're not in traffic driving on the highways. Then all bets are off, and flipping birds and throwing, shooting guns. But when you're off of that, very friendly. So, yeah, okay, so we're in California, Venice Beach. There are actually sea snails in the canals of Venice Beach. We know nothing about the history of the canals, like who made them, why.
But they were drafted after the Venice in Italy.
Yeah, I got that part.
That was the inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious.
They got it a bit off, though.
Yeah.
Sea slugs.
Well, it's because it's in disrepair. And then, so we're staying at the Airbnb. You got Sir Francis von Bun Bun, the Airbnb bunny rabbit.
What a legend.
Who's a legend in his own mind.
He chewed up my MacBook charger cable.
He's been chewing up everything. He cut right through your cable, your power cable. He did not die or even show any signs of shock.
Or distress.
Or distress. Then he started chewing on my flip-flops, that bastard. My Havianas.
I love the way when we walked in first, he was very shy. He was very...
Shy.
He was in the corner.
He's a wild animal. He was waiting to bite your face off.
But he wasn't sure about us, man. He was very he was just looking at us with one eye.
That's the way you're looking at me now.
And then after 2 days, he's chewing on stuff. He's jumping around, ripping up the carpet.
Yep. Laying on your stomach or your belly or same thing.
I'm worried. In 2 days, he's going to literally, I'll wake up in the morning, he'll be in my face with my nose chewed off. I'll fucking scream.
Yeah. Typical California Airbnb. It comes with a rabbit. I was like, of course.
And a saltwater plunge pool.
Oh, saltwater plunge pool. It's very cold. I did that already one morning. It took me 5 attempts to get in there. It worked. It is really good for you, but it's difficult.
Why don't you just jump in? Why do you do that?
Because it was early in the morning and I didn't want to disturb anybody. It's 6 a.m. and there's people living right nearby.
So rather not dive in.
Yeah, I mean, a big-ass splash, it's really quiet at 6. You wouldn't know that because you barely make it out of bed by 9. It's 8:58, and you're like, oh, I gotta go, we gotta go. I'm starving.
It's the jet lag. It's the
bullshit. The jet lag. That excuse only goes so far. Oh,
That's
man,
so
what have we
funny.
learned so far in this week in California? That's what I was asking myself before we came into the studio.
It's a great lifestyle here.
True that.
It's great. I mean, the weather's amazing. Everyone's generally very friendly. Lots of opportunities everywhere. Healthy food, healthy living.
Food. But do people look healthy?
It's a good question. There's all sorts in LA, though.
Yeah, I know. That was just
Some
a
look
crazy
healthy,
question.
some don't look healthy.
Do I look healthy, or do I look a little bit burnt out? You could be honest. I feel burnt out.
You're looking okay.
That's very
And
kind.
maybe it was those cocktails last night, dude.
Yeah, I used to treat my body like a temple.
We haven't done any yoga for a week. I'm feeling that, man.
Yeah, well, you're a man. Yeah.
I'm all creaky at the moment.
Old man Merrick. I feel great. I was doing my 8-minute sessions of yoga in the morning on the rooftop. I'm trying to do the whole full immersion Southern California thing.
But how do you do yoga in 8 minutes?
I mean, just do a few simple positions.
Okay.
Kind of do this, kind of do that. I'll show you later. I mean, this is audio only, so you can't see when I'm demonstrating. But it's genius. I'll show you later.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be back in your home soil?
Oh, this is the first time I've been back in the U.S. since Trump took the helm. I don't want to get political, but yeah, he was inaugurated beginning of 2017, but I haven't been back here until, I was here over Christmas last year. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm here. I'm here to take the pulse of the American people. And
Is there still a pulse?
there is a pulse, and it's racing. I think it's confirmed, dare I say double confirmed, that I don't want to be back in the U.S.
Yeah, you dropped that bombshell on me a few days ago.
Was it a bombshell? Was it a surprise?
Yeah, because only last year you were like, I'm going to move back to New York.
Yeah, but last year was a very, it was a transition period where I had to let go of certain things from my past, and I had to embrace new things coming in the future. You ever been in that crossroads?
But that period's over now, huh?
That period is finished. It actually was winding down at the end of last year, and then through the beginning of this year, it all was reconfirmed.
Yeah. So what is it? Why not? Why not? So is it just Singapore's your
This
thing?
is a very
man?
personal question.
Yeah, man.
But I was working toward moving back to New York.
Yeah.
Then last year, I was fortunate to spend a lot of time back in New York because I was working out some issues, and my love affair with New York, I think, started coming apart. I was like, you know what? New York's great. I love New York, always will. But I don't know. Maybe that time in my life is over, and like I should just embrace where I'm at now, which is in Singapore. So the problem I was doing before was I was trying to do what I was doing in New York in Singapore. Ever been like that?
Yeah.
So I didn't fully transition, and it created issues. And then I recognized that I can't do that. Can't do that.
Recognized.
DJ Jazzy Mav over here on the mic.
Very
Yes.
mature conversation for
Recognized. Did you expect that?
10 a.m. in the morning.
Jeez. But yeah, man, but it's good. Like at the end of last year when I fully said, you know what, I'm going to commit to Singapore. I was
Awesome.
spending too much time away from Pauline. That was not good for our personal lives. There was a lot of things that all came together. And this is not going to be a psychological analysis of me. But sum it up, you know, as soon as I committed to it, opportunities started opening up.
That's
like
awesome.
this teaching opportunity
Yeah,
with Sal,
yeah,
new
yeah.
photography opportunities, but treating it as back to being an entrepreneur, running my own business, as opposed to trying to be something for somebody else.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude.
To fit their photographic needs. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm going to do what I do,
Yeah.
find my audience, my
Yeah.
customer base, which is what I've been doing too. And it's coming together, man.
Very cool.
You
Very
know?
cool. I'm just looking at the coffee cup that's next to you. Sorry to change topics again.
No, I'm done.
But Thomas is holding the original OG bulletproof coffee from Venice Beach, California.
Yeah, so we're big fans of Bulletproof Coffee. I've been a big fan for as long as I can remember. But this is the first time I went to an actual retail store, one of the few bulletproof stores in the world.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but really they should consider it because we have a lot of influence over consumers.
Man. And we had the medium size the other day.
The first day we had the mediums and we almost died.
Wired. Absolutely wired.
It's too much.
Yeah, it was. And you're on a medium at the moment.
I am.
I don't know what you were thinking.
That's what I needed because I had the whiskeys last night. This is to counteract
I
that.
think that's going to save you.
It saves me. I'm feeling better already.
Nice.
But it's not about me.
Not about you.
It's not about me. It's about, what is it about?
LA?
Los Angeles.
LA.
And so it's all blur to me. Check it out.
I just can't believe how much the city's changing, actually. That main road in Venice,
The main road in Venice.
a lot of development, man.
You mean Venice Boulevard or?
Venice Main Road, it goes from Venice Beach to Santa Monica, that main road.
Yeah.
Where the bulletproof coffee
Oh,
is.
it's called Main Street.
Main Street, yeah. It's changed so much, man. Like new buildings come up, new coffee shops. It's crazy,
And
man.
what does that point to? What is that a sign of?
It's clearly, the economy's doing well.
Economy's picking up,
Yeah,
okay.
a lot
Got
of
it.
hipsters. A lot of hipsters. I mean, Venice Beach used to be, drug haven,
Yeah.
gangster central.
Yeah. Burnouts, druggies, homeless.
And now you've got people, hipsters cycling around on Linus bikes with their beards and, drinking bulletproof coffee all day. Yeah. What do you think? I quite like that part of LA. It's really good.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Good food.
Food.
Beautiful people.
Well, present company included. I like to think. Beautiful people. Yeah, man, it's great. It's great. It's funny. I'm a little burnt out.
Should we check what the 8-ball says?
Yeah, so we got some 8-balls here in the studio with us. Not a sponsor. 8-ball for your guidance.
Whoopsie.
It says whoopsie.
It says outlook, not so good.
That one's broken. We got to use the one that's the correct one. Outlook nuts.
Whoopsie. Yeah. Thomas is reaching for the second one.
Second, Give me a question. Any question.
Give you a question. So it's almost the weekend here. It is Thursday. How is my weekend going to be?
Cannot predict now. Cannot predict now. Oh.
Okay, maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later. We'll check in with him later. The 8 Ball, not a sponsor. We gotta have to take a picture of that, put it on the Instagram. So I got nothing to add.
I've got a what's the deal?
Yeah, good.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
What's the deal? Did it come in from someone? From who? From yourself?
Yeah, it's from me. Sorry, guys.
We can always make it up.
We haven't checked our social media feed for a while.
I did. And it's blowing up, man. I got to respond. People in Singapore, they want us to review their restaurants.
Yes, you're right. Okay, what's the deal? I've got 2. It's actually a Singaporean what's the deal.
Uh-oh.
This is before I left to come to the US, and I was sort of, and actually it's a good analogy to the US, to LA actually.
All right.
So obviously in the US there's a lot of pedestrians, generally speaking, crossing the road, and I've noticed that every single car will stop for a pedestrian.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a sort of rule here.
It's a state law. We talked about that.
Super polite. Yeah, I mean, but I'm telling our listeners out there.
That's right. Sorry. My apologies.
Factoid. And what shocked me is the drivers in Singapore do not do that.
They accelerate.
Ever.
They accelerate. If you step into the road, they'll accelerate and try to hit
So
you.
that's what's the deal, man? It's like, what's the deal with drivers being oblivious of pedestrians and cyclists in Singapore?
This is just like the bitch session. This is more like a...
What's the deal?
You just want to yell at people.
I don't get it. Seriously, guys.
This is just a rant.
You're in a car, a moving vehicle made of metal and plastic.
Yeah.
And gasoline.
Potential weapon.
And there's, an old lady crossing the road slowly, and you accelerate. Why would you accelerate? Why? I mean, is it like
No, there's no answer to that question. What's the deal is like something you can actually research and talk about. Not just like, God, people act like assholes. Why do they act like assholes? That's it. I'm like, because they're assholes.
You're right.
It's sort of a self-defining definition.
You're right. This is a rant.
It's a rant.
It's
hashtag
not
rant.
what's the deal.
Mad rant. What's the deal? So California's great. It's a different culture here. Singapore,
You're right.
they're on edge there. Because Singapore is a small city that's kind of, people are on top of each other and there's like this claustrophobia. And I think people get tweaked if they drive around the same streets again and again and again, knowing they can't escape the country. You can't go if you go half an hour and you're in the ocean.
So what, they're planning to thin the herd or something? Or what's the
deal? I don't know. I don't know. Can I just say pass? Hard pass.
A hard pass.
Hard pass. Don't know. Thanks for asking though.
And with so many cars in LA, and they're still so, accepting of pedestrians and cyclists.
Well, it's a state law.
I appreciate
They
that.
could get in trouble.
Yeah, in Singapore, not so much.
It's not a law.
Really?
It's not a law. You have to cross in the crosswalks, just like New York. You have to cross in the crosswalks during the right light changes.
Yeah.
But California, no. It's state law.
I've crossed some crosswalks, if that's the real word for those. And in Singapore, and almost got run over.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's
Was
optional.
the light against you?
Don't remember.
See, nice. You're crossing. These guys got a green light, and you just step in front of them. I'm surprised you're still alive. Oh, my God. But yeah, I mean, that happens. C'est la vie, such is life.
Crazy.
Impatience. What can I tell you? It's
Crazy.
I gotta... Ayo.
Okay.
That was my Singlish for the day.
The Singlish for the day. So, Thomas, do you have any topics for today?
My mind is completely blank. Completely and utterly blank. I think it's the effect of being in Los Angeles for a week.
Really?
It's completely blanked out my mind.
Have you been on the doobie?
No.
No? Really?
Don't touch any of that. Nope. Don't need it. And it's still blanked out my mind. I meditated this morning. Struggled hard in my meditation, which is really counterproductive.
But you blanked out.
And then at one moment, my mind blanked out, and it's been blank ever since. Normally, all this wisdom's coming out. None today. Zilcho. So I got to get the hell out of LA before my brain is completely erased. And I'm a blank slate. Tabula Rasa, as they say in Latin. For our Latin listeners out there.
Really? Is that it?
Tabula Rasa, yeah. It's blank slate.
That's brilliant.
What do you mean?
It's fucking genius. Dude, that's a word of wisdom. He just dropped it.
Did it?
Tom just dropped Tabula Rasa. And
right.
he says he's got a blank slate. Sure.
So that means blank slate. That's what it means.
Classic.
Why is it when you meet up with friends, you have to drink alcohol? That's my question.
Alcohol's a massive part of everybody's life, though. Eh? It's really weird. Like
That's what I mean.
Big part of society.
Why can't you just meet and order a fine bottled water, distilled or
from the Italian Alps?
exactly
You're completely right,
the
man.
Pellegrinos?
What is it about society that makes us drink alcohol?
I don't know. Like last night, when I met with my buddy, I was thinking I'm gonna just order a bottle of Aquapana or something. Get a fine bottled water.
Yeah. And if you did do that, like the looks around the table would just be like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's basically what happens.
Is that what happens?
It
But
would
ultimately, as an individual, you have to be responsible for your own actions. And I try to say, hey, I don't give a damn what people think. But I still fell under the pressure, the peer pressure.
But it's also, there's a physiological effect with alcohol.
Yeah.
You have like a little glass of wine and you mellow out, man. You mellow out. It's a drug, let's be honest. With all the stresses in our lives, all the trials and tribulations.
The neurotoxins.
A little bit of neurotoxin just takes the edge off.
Ethanol. It's the best.
But then you just feel it the next day. It's like taking credit.
If you were 21, you wouldn't feel it the next day.
You don't think you would feel it, but you do.
But you do.
You're not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, man. That's
know?
what happened. That's it. You know what? I think I'm declaring it now. I'm off alcohol for the next...
Here we go, guys.
What's the time period?
This is going live.
Tell me. What do you think? Suggest
48
one.
hours.
Oh, come on. I could do 48. I was thinking 3 months.
Really?
That's the first number that popped in my head.
I actually never told you that. No, I did tell you
Then
this.
I got scared.
I do a month of alcohol every
Yeah.
year.
Oh, every year.
Yeah, a month before my birthday.
When's
So my birthday is on the 20th of July. So I need to stop
it's coming
drinking
up.
in like 5 days.
Yeah.
But usually what happens is if I fail during those 30 days before my birthday,
Yeah.
like if I end up drinking, I
Yeah.
do the month after my birthday. Oh. It's like a backup. It's like a get out of jail free card.
Extended.
But I try not to do that, So, yeah. It's going to start. It's going to start in a few
I'm
days.
going to join you.
You're going to join me?
on the no alcohol campaign.
Let's do that, man.
That's it. Yeah. And then when people ask, hey, man, why don't you have a drink? Oh, we're all having a drink. I'll just say, I can't because I made a pact.
It's my annual tradition.
It's my annual
What I
tradition.
say, man, it's before my birthday every year, and nobody asks questions. It's funny, actually.
Really?
Well, they'll ask the question, but then once you explain it, it's very quick. Everyone's
So
like,
if
"Oh,
I
okay,
say,
cool."
what do you mean annual tradition? What kind of annual tradition are we talking about?
I just say a month before my birthday, I don't drink alcohol, and they go, "Why?" And I say, just to make sure I'm not an alcoholic,
Oh.
because I drink a lot of booze as well, man.
Very practical. Yeah, you've been going off the rails, man.
I have.
We're all worried about you back home
Yeah.
at headquarters. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm off alcohol, and when people ask me, I'll say, hey, man, it's an annual tradition. Every month before Merrick's birthday, I don't drink any alcohol. And then if I screw that up, it's the month after.
So you're going to do 3 months or 1 month
Let's just do one.
and test it out?
Test it. Let's get through to your birthday.
I like this. I like this experiment.
And then we'll review
Uh-huh.
and then see what happens.
Wow, we're going to do this, man.
It's committed now
Shit.
to audio. That's going to be a test of our willpower. Clean our bodies out. Clean. The body's a temple. I have to get back there, man.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what our listeners do with alcohol.
Just pour it over the bodies.
Do they find it's an issue? Do they find it a challenge?
Yeah.
Do they not give a shit?
Alcohol.
Really?
Alcohol.
Is there a little bit of guilt in there?
Is it your friend? Is it your foe? That's what I'm saying. You know? Sure, it's fun. Hey, sure, it's fun.
Playing with the devil.
Playing with fire. Playing with the devil's fire.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
But there is a price to be paid, and I feel it. It's like, yeah, the next day it's always, I'm diminished. I'm less of who I am.
this is Thomas this morning because I had a few drinks last night.
And that's why my presence on the show was diminished. It was dialed back. And that's it. I'm not bitching. It was my choice, you know. But we're off. Officially?
Nice.
Even okay?
4 month, done. From the 20th of June.
All right, shake on
Wow.
it. Once we hit...
Shit. I've got a lot of big events coming up next week as well, but no, I got to do it.
All right.
Game on.
Locked in. And we'll check in with you later, see if we're still alive. Anyway, so that's what's going on.
Classic.
So what else is going on? I have no idea.
I think I saw Ryan Seacrest this morning.
Oh, yeah, there's reports of celebrity sighting of Ryan Seacrest. But I think it was
No, it wasn't him.
mistaken.
How we find? So I mean, the guy must have been like,
7 feet tall.
yeah, close to 7 foot. I was like, that's Ryan Seacrest. He had like bodyguards and
Yeah.
you know, sort of assistants.
Was he black?
No.
Okay, so it might be Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to...
I'm just confirming. Hold on.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest is definitely white. But we did a quick Wikipedia search, and Ryan Seacrest is only 5'8".
He's 5'8", and you said he was like 7 foot. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
He's
that
kinda
wasn't
like
him.
average stature, etc.
Yeah, it wasn't
and
him.
then, but now the story is flat. One moment we had a celebrity sighting. Now we have Zilcho.
But you know who I did see last week?
Give me a hint.
Snoop Dogg.
What kind of hint is that?
Sorry.
What kind of hint is that? He doesn't understand the concept.
And
of
Conan O'Brien.
hint technology. Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so you've been rubbing shoulders. Merrick here has been rubbing shoulders with all kinds of celebrities in L.A. This all happened before I showed up, so I missed the celebrity sightings.
It was from a distance, so it wasn't like I was shaking
Really?
their
No,
hand,
make it up. So he was right next to him. I heard you were smoking some, dare I say,
Yeah. It's legal.
Snoop Dogg, and you were like smoking up.
Not with him specifically.
Just
Come
close
on.
though. He was
close.
within eye shot.
Yeah, dude, within like a few meters.
And you got in your eyes locked. You told me this over after a bottle of wine. You're like, guys, eyes
Bottle
locked.
of gin and juice.
Lay back. Got my mind on my money.
But I'll tell you something, Conan, what a legend.
Funny
How
guy.
talented.
Conan O'Brien.
I mean, wow, the guy is absolutely brilliant.
He's a bit of an unsung comedian because that show he did, the Late Show or whatever it is.
Okay, yeah.
What the heck? I mean,
Tonight Show.
The Tonight Show,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course. Because it's such a main show, it was a bit mainstream. So a lot of his genius, the wit, had to be modulated and moderated.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I never was a big fan of the show, but he himself is a funny guy. His comedy is funny, and tell me about some words of wisdom he unleashed upon you.
Well, he actually came in to give a sort of panel discussion
Yes.
about how he uses various technology and social media and stuff. And he's really, really smart, man. Because he's one of the few talk show hosts that actually uses social media really well.
Yeah? I want to learn something from him.
Yeah, dude.
I'm trying to get my social media game on.
Obviously, he left the Tonight Show and he was doing live gigs. And the only way he was able to promote those live gigs was through digital media. Because he had this very restrictive contract when he left where he wasn't allowed to do anything, anywhere.
Right.
But,
No stand-up comedy.
yeah, well, no, he could do stand-up, but he couldn't do anything on TV. He couldn't make any other appearances where it was recorded.
Yeah.
But social media was fair game. So it was almost like a forced way for him to actually learn about this stuff. But yeah, he's brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah, genius. And so funny, man.
What do you say?
He was just on this monologue. He just went off on this monologue for the first 10, 15 minutes at this panel.
Yeah.
I mean, the moderator was just like, keep going, man.
Yeah.
Just keep, and he was just, I mean, he was obviously tearing us to bits. You know,
Yeah.
he was like, why are you staying in this, crappy hotel? What a shit show, etc. I mean, hilarious stuff. Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, everyone loves to be abused like that.
No, but like classy
done-
abuse,
yeah.
It wasn't like, it wasn't going deep, but it was just like hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? And he was abusing the hotel. He wasn't abusing us.
Right.
Indirectly. That's where the smarts
Yeah,
come in.
See, exactly. You don't never attack the person, you attack the action.
Exactly.
That's a quote from a previous episode.
Really? Is that your
Of
quote?
ours. You forgot them already. All of them.
So many episodes now, man.
You don't criticize the person, you criticize the action. That's the quote.
Brilliant.
And you agreed, and you're like, yes, absolutely.
I do agree. Still do agree.
Okay, good.
So what's next after this, man? You're off to the East Coast.
I'm flying to the East Coast where my tour continues, my worldwide tour. I have to circle the globe at least once every few years, and so I'm due for my circumnavigation, I believe the term is. So starting in Singapore, through Japan, into LA, and then onwards to the East Coast of the United States of America.
Nice.
So I'm going to check in there, see how it is in Trump country, and then skedaddle. I don't think I'll be golfing because my thumb is still offline.
Dude, there's something wrong with your thumb, man.
My thumb is effed.
He's gonna have to go in to have an operation.
I'm going in for a CAT scan as soon as I'm back in Singapore in another week or so. I know you guys are interested in this. That's what I'm telling you. And if you ask me a question, I tell you no lies.
It's the jigging incident.
The
You
squid
guys know
jigging is
about
still
this.
with me, man.
Yeah. It's the injury that continues giving.
Exactly. The squid has, even though we ate him, in the end, he won. He won the battle. I don't want to swear. That mother jigger. Anyway, but yeah, we'll still continue on and then get out of New York, maybe spend some time in New York and then head back to Singapore. And I'll be back before you're back in Singapore, I think.
I'm here for another week, but not in LA. I'm in a little town.
Anaheim, California.
Down southeast Anaheim. Yeah, they've got Disneyland there.
Disneyland.
Pretty crappy Disneyland.
The land of Walt.
There's some business to be done down there. So it's the annual sort of pilgrimage to Anaheim.
Right. Businessman.
It's like, pilgrimage to Anaheim. It's like my version of Mecca.
Be careful.
With absolute respect to all our Muslim listeners.
Yes.
It's nothing like Mecca.
We are inclusive of all religious groups, especially the really good ones. The good ones.
So then I think I'll be back on the 26th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Same.
26th of June, that is. In case anybody wants to come to the airport to welcome us
back.
Yeah,
26th June. I'm going to be back on the 28th June, Singapore. And then we can really get hardcore on the next set of 6 episodes.
I agree. I think we need to start working on our content schedule.
Yeah. Thank you, listeners, for putting up with our random release schedule. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
It's getting there.
But if you've listened this far, first of all, thank you. Really, from the bottom of our hearts. If you've managed to listen this far, we really appreciate it. And if you could zip us an email at doubleconfirmshow@gmail.com, just let us know anything. Recently, I was in touch with one of our listeners.
Okay.
Yeah. Who happens to be a friend of Merrick, because that's most of our listeners. They either know me or know you. But she said, oh, I really enjoy the show. But it's only because I had a conversation with her separately, independently. And I'm like, I want to encourage people. I know it takes time. Everyone's busy. But if you can even just send a little tweet or a little Instagram, direct message, a Facebook post, anything, even just to say, yeah, you're alive and you're well. You haven't written, and we're worried about you, listeners. All 2. We're up to 3. So I had to say that for the record. Because we don't give our listeners enough credit, and we don't know who they are.
You're right. But we have been asked to have a review of a restaurant, do a review of a restaurant.
Yeah, we got to do some reviews. People want to know what we think about their food. And in fact, Gentle Bros Cafe, that's the name of the place in Singapore.
Okay.
Gentle Bros. I think we may have to sneak in there.
Okay.
Under cover of night, of darkness, and do a review.
This could be a new segment.
It's definitely a new segment.
Yeah.
Every segment's a new segment. It's all new segments. But yeah. Our good friends at Food in Sing on Instagram, at Food in Sing, they asked us to check this out because they know we know our food.
We do, actually.
I used a bacon emoji, and that convinced them of our credentials. Bacon emoji. It's a brunch place. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Well, it is what it is.
Gotta love it. We'll go in undercover.
I don't want to go undercover, though. No. I want to have big T-shirts and get free food.
We should get Double Confirmed Show T-shirts.
That's the next step.
Merch.
There's demand.
Yeah, man. We should get some merch done. So T-shirts, maybe like underwear,
It's
socks.
only because the people want it, though. We don't. I mean, it's like we had some people ask for it.
Of course. We'll do a run out of China.
Yeah, you don't give them all the. Oh, yeah, come on. This is for our offline meeting. What else is going on? LA's really wiped my brain off the map. The Tabula Rasa. I'm telling you.
Which is good, man.
My apologies.
It leaves some space for more stuff to come in.
I hope so. It's a very optimistic way of looking at it. And
Brilliant.
I'm going to stick with the optimism.
So let's wrap this up.
You think so?
Yeah, I think we're good, man, for our first field trip.
Thanks for joining us. Visit us on the Facebook page. Follow us on the thingies, the Instagram.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Later.
You Africans, please listen to me as Africans. And you non-Africans, listen to me with open mind.